You are listening to the Novel Writing Podcast, episode 100. Grab a cup, cozy up, and let's get to writing. Today's episode is why you should question everything, including the advice that you hear on this podcast. There is no one-size-fits-all panacea of advice for humans. Not for me, not for Haley, not for you, not for the authors in our programs. What works for one person is not necessarily going to work for another. This is why there are many, many successful authors in the world, but all of them achieved success in different ways. If you tried to exactly repeat how Stephen King reached his massive success, you would fail because you're not Stephen King. You don't have his experiences, his worldview, his life. He does. You have yours. Questioning everything has less to do with questioning the validity of the advice and more to do with questioning if that piece of advice is going to work for you right now, where you are in your life. Does it fit your life circumstances? Does the person giving you advice have the same types of situations you're dealing with? The same upbringing? The same location, job, family, education, friends, family? No? Then I highly recommend that you approach every suggestion you hear through the lens of curiosity for how it might work in your life, not taking it on blind faith that it will work. Why? Because humans are fallible. And when we expect one person's advice to work perfectly in our lives, and then it doesn't, we set ourselves up to blame both the advice and the advice giver for being wrong. What I want us to do as authors is take ownership over our choices, make informed decisions, evaluate the results that those decisions bring us, and make a new decision. It doesn't matter if the new decision is to keep doing the thing we're doing because it works. What matters is the paradigm we go through to know for ourselves if that piece of advice works at all. Here's an example to help illustrate what I mean. For years, over a decade now, I have been trying to find a paper planner that works for me. I had one in community college that the school provided, which worked perfectly for my needs at the time. And I actually filled out 2 of them, cover to cover, in the years that I was there. And ever since then, I have been on the hunt for a paper planner that meets my needs. Like many people who desperately want to make paper planners work for them, I have spent hundreds of dollars, if not over $1,000 by now, trying out different planners, only to abandon them anywhere from a few days to a few months into them. It's kind of a planner graveyard. The thing about planners is that everyone and their sister has created a planner because they couldn't find the planner that worked for them. Every single paper planner out there on the market was designed with the designer's needs in mind. For sure, they take feedback from their customers and iterate based on what those customers would like to see, but at the core of every planner that you'll find on Amazon or in your local stores is a system that worked for the designer. Advice is like planners. The advice that I give, that anyone gives, is usually based on their personal experiences, what works for them or what they have seen work for others. Some of that advice is widely applicable, but much of it isn't. An example closer to the writing world is deadlines. Deadlines either work for you or they don't. If I'm in a coaching session with Premium and I'm coaching someone for whom I know deadlines don't work, then I'm not going to tell them to set a deadline for themselves. At the same time, there might be a member in that same Premium Zoom room for whom deadlines are the things that ensure they get anything done. Just because I'm coaching one member to work to her strengths doesn't mean every member in that session must also take that coaching and implement it without assessing if it makes sense for their lives. That's what I mean about questioning advice. Does it work for you? Don't know? Try it out. If it works, great. You have a new tool or strategy for yourself. But if the answer is no, it doesn't work, then take what does work, the pieces of it, and leave the rest. That's it for today's episode. Thanks for joining me, and remember, the first draft is supposed to be garbage. Thanks for listening to the Novel Writing Podcast. If you're ready to stop struggling and start finishing your novel, check out the 60-Day Novel Writing Challenge. It's a step-by-step program designed for solo writers to complete their first draft with clarity and focus. Visit the link in the description to learn more.